Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, I do want to acknowledge that I am recovering from a bit of a cold, so I am a little stopped up and I apologize. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Uh, and secondly, Dav, your order is ready. I had to do some research, to find out what seals eat exactly. But we have a nice big fish with a clam, and you might want to hurry because that octopus looks like he's gonna eat it all before you do. And we have a nice little bit of coral for garnish. So hopefully you enjoy. But now for Echo, as I recall when we last left off, we were on Saturday. The group had just got into a huge shouting match argument and things got physical and Carl got freaked out, so we drove away and somehow we ended up in this place. I have no clue where this is, neither does anybody else. And hopefully things start to make sense. And the reason we are letting Raven go first is because they have a knife. They have a knife, and Carl has to carry Chase because Chase broke his ankle. Immediately, it's clear that wherever we are isn't a very large. Four identical hallways lead us around in a perfect square. Each hallway has three doors on the right, one on the left, and a hatch in the ceiling that leads to the attic. What also becomes immediately clear is that the door on the left leads into the kitchen, but from the kitchen, there's only that one door out. That's pretty non-Euclidean. Each time we open the door to the kitchen, we come to realize that the angle in which we enter is the same. The first time this happens, we're mostly just confused, wondering if maybe we backtracked somehow. After the second time, though, Raven laughs. This isn't real! We're on drugs or something. But we're all seeing the same thing? Or I'm just having this dream and none of you are real, huh? Husky's voice is bordering on crazy. That, paired with his grin, paired with him holding a knife, is slightly disconcerting. Carl huffs, hitching me up higher on his shoulders. Alright, calm down. Just don't think about it. Let's try the other doors. I'm a little surprised at how well Carl is taking all of this. And you know what, that's actually something I wanted to point out is that Carl got so wound up at a job interview he vomited. Like, a job interview. It's like, yeah, I get it, it can be stressful and people handle stress differently, but he got so wound up he threw up, and now we're in this completely ridiculous situation, this absolute dreamscape of a place, and he's taking charge, he's showing bravery. And also he's being a bit cagey. This doesn't read right. This doesn't feel correct, like, at all. And not to mention, I've also had time between recording this and recording the last episode to think about some things, and there's a lot of, like, subtext, I feel like, that's going on. Like, I feel like I'm going to learn about this in particular more in Flynn's route, but one thing that I noticed is that, hey, they're beautifying the lake. The lake where Sydney drowned, and Chase almost drowned. But they're beautifying the lake? They're putting concrete over top, they're prettying it up, they're pretending like it never happened, aren't they? They're just trying to bury it. That's kind of like almost like a parallel of what the group is experiencing. They don't want to acknowledge it, they don't want to think about it, they don't want to look at it. And so here comes the city that's doing that as well. But then again, Flynn also works for the city, so that might actually be him tugging at some strings here and there. Who knows? Either that or it's whoever this kudzu person is, because I know apparently there is a character named Kudzu, because good lord. The fan art is freaky. That's all I want to say. The fan art is freaky. But, yeah, let's keep going. I wonder if part of it has to do with any of the weed that might still be in his system. We start trying the doors on the right, and this time things are different. The first door opens up to a wall, just an extension of the beige color of the wall surrounding it. We stare at it for a few moments, and for the first time I get a deep, unsettling terror in the pit of my stomach. I managed to keep it from rising to the surface, but all of this bizarre imagery combined with this surreal haze is making me feel sick and claustrophobic. Bummer. That's definitely not the way out. On to the next door. Carl chuckles again, and I feel myself clinging to his attempt at humor just to keep myself sane. The next door opens up to what looks like a bathroom. It's definitely not a modern one, though, since it's complete with a pull chain from the high tank. Well, at least we've got all the essentials, right? The next door reveals a room full of tools and chains hanging from the ceiling, along with a sawhorse. The walls, though, are lined with wooden planks, and Carl gently sets me against the hallway wall before hurrying in and peering at the wood. Fuck. It's just concrete behind it. I don't bother to ask what the hell is going on again. I'm just starting to accept that where we are can't be explained. More doors are opened, 12 in all. One is completely white and empty. Another contains a frilly bedroom, which is where Carl says he woke up. Further along, we come across what looks like an office, along with a room decorated with sofas and a chandelier. When we reach one of the doors in the last hall, though, something's different. The first thing I notice is the smell. Though it's faint, I can tell it's sweet in the most disgusting way possible. Ah! What is that? Raven holds up a hand to his nose as we approach the second to last door in the last hall. This one is clearly damaged. The wood is splintered in the middle, bulging out slightly as if it had been punched from the other side. We all stare at it for a moment, the smell growing stronger. Then it hits me. Oh God. Do you think... I can't finish, covering my muzzle with both hands. Raven, who had been right up next to the door, steps back with an arm up around his face, looking like he's about to throw up. I imagine the smell is a lot worse for him. Maybe we should skip this one. For now. Carl hesitates, then gently sets me down against the wall. We need to check every door. This could be the way out, you know? He looks back at me, but I don't say anything, just grimacing at the door. He holds out a hand to Raven. Knife. After handing it over, Raven takes several more steps back, further up the hall. I press my hand to my muzzle, readying myself to shut my eyes. As Carl turns the knob, I grit my teeth. The room has no illumination, therefore we have to rely on the light from the hallway to see inside. As the light from the opening door spreads across the room, I see that it's rather simple. Walls are concrete, peppered with craters and rocks. The floor is smoother, but with webs of cracks in its surface. I can't see the ceiling, but I do see what's hanging from it. Once the door opens completely, there's enough light to fully take in exactly what it is. A noose. Frayed and old looking, but unmistakably a noose. Carl stares at it, then sticks his head in further to look back and forth before stepping back to close the door. What was it? Raven calls from up the hall, his hands clasped nervously together. I notice then that the rotting smell is completely gone now, instead of getting stronger when Carl opened the door. Nothing. Empty room. I see Carl visibly trying to keep his breathing under control as he holds the knife out to Raven before bending down in front of me again. Really? Oh, thank God. Carl trembles as he stands up with me in tow. As the husky moves on to the final door, I lean next to Carl's cheek. You okay? Did you see anything? He turns his head towards mine, touching his cheek to mine. Aside from the rope, no. It's hard to say whether or not I believe him, or if he's just trying to protect me from whatever else he saw in there. Either way, I don't press for it. The last door is locked. It's big, made of small logs. It's deep brown in color. Its deep brown color contrasts with all of the others. Raven jiggles the handle a few times, and Carl tries to look into the cracks between the logs, but it's complete black. So that's it. That's all the doors. I'm starting to feel a certain level of panic again, now that we know that we're stuck. Carl, I think, picks up on that and comes over to where I'm leaning against the wall to set a hand on my shoulder. It's alright, man. We haven't checked the attic either. I mean, there aren't any windows, like you said, so we're probably in a basement or something, right? The reassuring hand feels good, but it's not exactly enough to keep me from feeling a certain level of despair. Honestly, I think I'm still dreaming right now. Carl doesn't say anything to that. Raven slides up next to us. Well, dream or not, I'm still pretty hungry. We both glance at Raven, and I can't help but give a little laugh at the grin on his face. But I guess at least for now, it's best to just not think about it. We head back to the kitchen, which doesn't take very long because every door on the left leads to it. We all split up and search the many cupboards and drawers of the kitchen for food. We come up mostly empty-handed, only finding silverware and cooking utensils here and there. Because of my injury, I cover a lot less ground, only able to hobble around along the counter, using it as a crutch, as I move down the line of cupboards. Even if I were able to find any food, there's no way I'd be able to cook it. The only thing I'd ever been able to make on my own was grilled cheese sandwich, back when I was in high school. Even then, I'd almost burned down the house when I dropped a piece of bread on the gas stove. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Alright, so this is a little bit of Coco life advice for people here. If you are somebody who doesn't know how to cook, you need to remember that you can take things in baby steps, basically. I know this is gonna sound, whatever, but... So basically, what I mean is, you can get ground beef. You can get like a pound of ground beef, cook that off, crack open a can of manwich sauce, and boom. You've got food. You can buy hot dogs, and you can buy pre-prepared hot dog chili in a can, or just chili in a can, whatever your preferred brand is. Throw them together, throw it in the microwave. Boom, you're done. If you want to get a little fancy with it, you take croissant dough, like your preferred like easy bread dough. You grease up a pan very well, you press it down at the bottom of the pan, throw some ragu sauce on top, cheese, and then whatever toppings, and wham, you've got a pizza. Really what I'm trying to get at here is that a lot of times food and cooking is something that people are afraid of, or I personally oftentimes just feel like I don't have time for it. Working an overnight job completely messes up everything about your life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really hoping this YouTube thing, works out well enough where I can drop the overnight shifts. I'd like to see the sunlight every now and again. But what I'm getting at is that it's easier than you think to just make food at home. You don't have to do anything fancy, you don't have to do anything crazy, because I mean, if it's you can do something as simple as cut up an onion into itty bitty pieces, throw it into a pan, let it cook, throw your ground beef in the same pan, let that cook, and then get you a packet of like some taco seasoning and just dump that in there. And boom, you've got taco meat. Which, by the way, that is a bit of a recommendation. If you ever brown off ground beef, always cut up an onion and add it in there. It will always, always, always make that bad boy taste better. But, food aside. In a panic, I threw the flaming bread across the kitchen into the living room. Oh, I smile at the memory as I open the last cupboard along the wall, and right in front of me is a block of cheese on a glass plate. Alright, that's weird, but now I have a story. So, one day when I was home, I was hungry, and I noticed there was a Sonic drive-thru burger and its wrapper in the fridge, and I was like, oh hey, I guess my parents went to Sonic, and I go and I'm like, hey, I'm hungry and I kind of don't want to make anything big, can I go ahead and have that? And my mom was like, oh yeah, sure. And so I was like, cool. So I put that bad boy in the microwave, and that's when I learned that shiny, reflective, almost foil-looking Sonic wrappers are not microwave safe. It caught fire. So, naturally, this was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because I was right there filling up a giant 1 liter, one of those big gulps, like the giant 1 liter jugs. I was filling up one of those full of water. Well, naturally, fire! And I am holding what is essentially a bucket of water in my hand. Gadoosh, splash, put out the fire. I clean up all the water, and then I go tell my parents, I hit them with that awkward, okay, so, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But I set the microwave on fire. It still works, it's fine. Everything's fine, but I set the microwave on fire. And you'd think that's where the story ends, but no, it turns out, my stupid ass forgot to clean out the water from the inside of the microwave. So apparently later on that day, my dad was like trying to nuke something in the microwave, and it was just not cooking. It was just not cooking at all, until eventually he noticed it was like really steamy in the microwave. And so that's when we all collectively, discovered that I had forgotten to get the water out of the microwave. Next to the cheese is a loaf of bread in plastic bagging and a small square of butter wrapped in wax paper. Hold on, Chase was just having a memory about grilled cheese, and he just got handed everything he needed for grilled cheese. Are we in like a subjective dream state? Is that what's going on? Because at first I was going to make a joke about, cooking with Boris from Life with Boris, Ease bodies. Making butter bread. First butter, then bread. Instructions very clear. But then, it clicked in my head, oh hey, wait a minute. Cheese, bread, butter, that's grilled cheese. So what the hell's going on here? I stare at it for a moment, waiting for the food in front of me to disappear. I even blink a few times to be sure. Guys? What's up? You seeing this? What? Cheese, bread, and butter. I stand to the side and Raven perks up. Oh, you found food! I swear I already checked that cupboard. Raven is next to me in a few seconds later, reaching in and to take out the food. For a moment, I swear the bread blurs as he pulls it out, and I have to shut my eyes for a moment to keep from feeling sick. I feel Carl support me from behind with his hands on my shoulders. Whoa, dude. You alright there, Chase? I grab onto the counter again. Yeah, it's just... Carl waits for a moment. What? I was thinking about grilled cheese just before I opened the cupboard. Like, you just wanted a grilled cheese sandwich really badly, and it popped up? Sort of. Huh. Carl walks up to the bread, bends over, observing it closely. It looks real. It is real! The one piece is real. Raven walks up to the cupboard where he had pulled the food from and closes it. Alright, I'm wishing for... a steak! He closes his eyes for a moment, then reaches out to pull the cupboard back open, smiling expectantly. It's empty. Well, grilled cheese isn't bad. Raven moves down the counter to grab one of the pans hanging from the rack. Carl moves over to my side as Raven turns on the gas stove with a click, 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 click of the igniter. You know, that good old tick, 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 tick. Dude, I think one of the important things to do right now is to stop questioning this place. We just can't make sense of it. I fold my arms. It has to be a dream. Carl puts an arm around me. Maybe, but dude, I'm just glad I'm not here alone. I nod in agreement. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to deal with that. Let's just take it one step at a time. For now, man. I manage a small smile. Are you high right now? Carl laughs. Man, I wish. I hear the sizzling of melting butter as Raven plops it in the pan. Carl and I go about setting slices of cheese in the bread as Raven starts searing them. The action of making food is enough to calm me down at least a little, and over the other two keeping high spirits lifts mine. Before long, there are 6 grilled cheese sandwiches stacked on a plate. They look good, but after the first bite, I almost let the food fall back out of my mouth. Oh, what the fuck? I look over to see Carl and Raven pulling similar faces. It kinda tastes like chalk. You know what chalk tastes like? Yeah, I ate some when I was a kid. He has a point. It's dry and crumbly, almost inedible. Well, it still sort of tastes like grilled cheese. Sort of. I don't think this is food. It's not that bad. Besides, it's all we've got. Raven forces another bite, and so does Carl. I can't bring myself to do it. My ankle, the smoke, the dead body smell, and noose. It's all too much for me to deal with right now. I watch Carl and Raven talk back and forth, and I'm struck by how surreal this all feels. I think back to the time I first got stoned from a stupid pop muffin. How nothing left felt real. I felt like I wasn't in control. It's like that, only 10 times worse. I wonder if the others feel the same. Something ebbs to the surface of my mind, trying to break through the veil of fog shrouding my mind. What are we doing? Why are we sitting here eating when we should be trying to figure out a way to get the fuck out? Oh, that's new. I opened my mouth. I'm sorry, stun-locked husky. Oh my god. Also the fact that both of the music is playing at the same time. What the hell is happening here? What in the... Oh, this ain't good. I struggle to keep my food down and instead choose to look hard at the tablecloth. You not hungry? Raven is looking intently at my half of finished sandwich. Nah, you can have it. I slide my glass plate across the table to Raven. Carl watches me but doesn't say anything, slowly chewing. I subconsciously note that he'd eaten around the crust, leaving those bit on his plate. We start discussing what else we might be able to do here, other possibilities on how we could get out. The attic is really the only place we haven't been yet, but because it's so dark, we're not sure about going. Well, why don't we sleep on it and figure out what we'll do when we wake up? Raven yawns widely. Sounds good to me. Feels like it's been hours. It does feel that way, but without our phones, it's really impossible to tell. Leaving our plates where they are, on the table, Raven leads us back into the hallway. It takes us a few minutes to find the right door, considering everything looks identical, though we take special care to avoid the damaged door. As Raven moves into the bedroom, Carl leans against the wall, turning his head to talk back to me. Hey, we're gonna be alright, okay? I look back at the one green eye I can see, and will myself to squash the boiling pit of dread in my stomach. Okay, it's just that I can't believe this is happening, you know? I gotcha. I just want you to know I'll be here for you, okay? I look back at his gaze for a while, to the point where I think he's getting uncomfortable. I sigh. You guys are just acting really weird about all of this. Yeah? Well, I guess Raven is being Raven, but you're acting... different. Really? How? I swallow. Just yesterday you were throwing up over a job interview. Now you're the level-headed one while I'm freaking out. I laugh a little. I just don't understand what's going on is all. Carl sets me down against the wall, then turns to me with a hug. Oh, hugs make everything better, especially when you got a big muscle gut ram to give you a hug. Is like, you could have had another couple lines in there, Buckaroo. Me looking at the authors. You could have had another line in there where, you're getting squished against the wall by Rambelly and your face is in his chest. Come on now. Give me some sort of reprieve from whatever eldritch madness is going on. Hey, man. I don't know either. I'm just trying to keep it together, too. The hug surprises me, but I take it gratefully. I stare over his shoulder at the uniform hallway. Despite Carl's efforts, the worrying feeling returns. Raven pokes his head around the doorway. Hey guys! The little sofa thing is awesome! I'll sleep there. You two can have the bed. Oh no! Well, that's where we're gonna have to end this video off. But we have finally reached Sunday, our first Sunday, and it looks to be a Sunday, bloody Sunday. Really quickly, before we carry on, I'd like to give a special shout out to my friend Aura Bearer, or Aura, or Bear, just whatever you want to say. He's been a longtime friend and he's been really nice, even if, we do have a little bit of disagreements on how games should be played. But he's a cool guy. And I hope he hears this, and I hope he's feeling good and feeling better by the time he hears this. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, guys.